Out of the 27 students that took the Regents in the movie, are any of them close to graduating or already graduated?
Yeah, the question about the 27 students who did the Regents, Ed's got some great news about the graduation class, because they started out as 9th graders when we were filming, and this year is their senior year.
Yeah, so the great news is, to give you a comparison, and something to compare it to, in New York City, the graduation rate in 4 years, which is the normal time span that we expect kids to graduate high school, is at 58%. The rate in the Bronx, the borough of the Bronx, is below 50. So less than 1 out of 2 kids in the Bronx graduate on time. My kids are projected to graduate at an 85% rate. So a lot of the kids that you saw, well, definitely the kids that that passed the math Regents in the first year of the 27, they were on track to AP Calculus. So I have about 24 of the 27 in AP Calculus right now. So there's a handful of kids that actually transitioned to another school or they left New York City. And also the great news is that we have now reached the $1.2 million mark in terms of merit scholarship for college. So that's purely merit. That's not financially aid yet. The schools haven't looked at the FAFSAs yet, and the kids haven't gotten those packages yet. It's strictly on their GPAs. I don't know if you caught that in the film, but my passing average is an 80 in my school. And that's one of the reasons why the kids got so much money, because we pushed for a different bar where everybody else was pushing for 65s, we were pushing for 80s. And a lot of our kids, the cutoff for a lot of these merit money is 85. So a lot of kids that get the 85 GPA get all the money. And those kids that fall 80 or below get less. So that's the good news. We've had, just quickly, I want to share this with you because I'm so proud of it. We've gotten a full scholarship to Vanderbilt, full scholarship to Middlebury College. We've gotten NYU acceptances, a couple of kids waiting for UPenn, Princeton, Cornell, Columbia. We've gotten Syracuse, we've gotten Fordham University, we've gotten a lot of the state universities, Binghamton, Geneseo in New York State, all along the East Coast, because still it's a stretch for a lot of our kids that can see themselves over on the West Coast, which we're trying to change that a little bit. But just to answer you, that's the good news, is that there's some really top-notch colleges and universities that are really showing interest in our children.
And I wanted to point out that Ed, when the students decided to come to his school, he didn't cherry pick the ones who were already getting 95s and 90s in school. He took gang members who had been out of school, who missed 100 instructional days the previous year. So anyone who wanted to go to his school, who believed in his vision, was allowed to go. So we have time for 2 more questions, and then we got to wrap it up. Yes, in back.
Do you ever find any inspiration from films like Leon D or like Stand and Deliver, considering that you're kind of similar, except you're the Chinese American? It's kind of refreshing because, I mean, your character really portrays us as not the typical mold of being passive. I mean, I only see like 2 moments where you actually smile, which is a good thing. And I mean, so it shows that, we're not passive, we're not weak, we're not just, bow our heads down. You really keep control of everybody. So does that have anything to do with like your upbringing, or just any of the those 2 movies that I just mentioned? Those have any effect?
I'm going to let Ed comment. It's basically Ed is breaking a lot of stereotypes as an Asian American man and as a leader. And one of the reasons that this project excited me so much that I was willing to devote 4 years of my life to it and start with no money was because I was so anxious, starving to see an Asian American male portrayed in the media as someone who is not weak, someone who's not gonna just be a kind of a tech person, and not just a kind of kung fu master who never gets the girl. I think we're all, Asian or not, we're all kind of sick of seeing those roles, and we're starving for people who are going to be strong leaders, who are not just going to serve the Asian American community. But I mean, how often have you seen blacks and Asians working together? Never. It's very rare. And then I think it's just so exciting, and I hope that this film kind of spurs more and more people who say, "Hey, I'm going to be a leader. I'm not just going to be passive and sit back." And I think there are a lot of people like Ed out there. We just have to, find them and promote them in a sense.
Actually, before I answer the question, I love the question, by the way. I would like my wife, Jane, to stand up for a second. Because we all know in the room behind every strong leader is a stronger woman. And you all know at times I feel really horrible where I made her feel like she was a single parent. As I was running the school, we have 3 little ones, and she's at home taking care of everything else. And so I owe everything to her, and so does my children. So thank you, Jane, for being my partner in crime. I really thank you for the question, by the way, and I want to thank Stephen Gong and Cam for their incredible support of this film, and for him and his team to see the vision that we saw. And what really motivated and inspired me to work with Chris was he shared with me this vision. Not only do we have to tell the story of the urban inner city children and what they're faced with and why we should break those stereotypes, because society is easy to criticize and say they just don't care. The parents don't care. But some of our parents are not equipped to care. And so we have to understand that. The other part of it that really has inspired me, and I've now decided to make that part of my life's work as well, is that very question that you asked, and that is the stereotype of Asian Americans in the media. If there's anything, and I offered myself to Stephen a little earlier, if there's anything that he sees I can do to help support that goal, I'm here for that. I am passionate about that. And I love Jaime Escalante like you all did. And, I Stand and Deliver, I think it was, or Stand By. It was one of those where he got the kids to pass the AP exam. I also love the Joe Clark with the bat. I love that too. Because if you ever came to my office and visited me, I have a bat right by my door. And I tell everybody, and it's just the fear factor, I said the safety plan on paper means nothing. The bat is my real safety plan. And it usually works. So, yeah, to answer, I am inspired by those leaders that have, kind of trailblazed and set the path for me, and I was inspired by their work. But I am honored to be an Asian American male and to be able to be regarded in this light. But I just love the children, and that's really the first and foremost God-given gift that I have, is that I love kids that I work with, and I don't see color. And so that's what I stand for. So thank you for the question.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions right now. And I will be in the lobby. The very last thing I want to say is, nothing gets done without a team, and I just wanted to thank my editor and co-producer, Zev Smith, my consulting producer, Charles Vogel, my associate producer, Wells. And again, if anyone wants to follow up on the progress of the film, find Gwen. She's there in the blue. She's got a little MacBook, and you can put your email in there. Thanks so much.